Hey everyone, Chaps here, and I'm trying something new today. Last week I saw a lot of Reddit threads about rumors for the June showcase, so I made a really quick video just to share my thoughts. And as some of you know, I'm a mod on Reddit, so I'm there checking it, fairly often. I see a lot of interesting threads, I comment on some of them, I just browse for others. I figured, you know what? Why don't I make a casual video occasionally? Just when I see an interesting topic, I'll highlight the thread and share some of my thoughts on it. So this is an experiment. I saw this thread asking how old the Locusts are, and I started to have some thoughts. To be honest, most of the thoughts were not about necessarily just how old the Locusts were, but it delved into some other stuff. But this isn't going to be a super organized video, just sort of a rambling of my thoughts. So here we go. I'm not going to spend too much time here, but let me pull up the thread. So this is about the OP is asking about the Age of the Locust. New Hope was created around 50 BE, but then in Gears 2 we visited the Nexus. And as you probably remember from Gears 2, the buildings look like they're at least hundreds of years old. I guess there's also a couple comments on here about what really constitutes the true Locust, based on some of the Gears 5 findings. But alright, what's my take? Why did I find this interesting enough to make a video about it? Well, for starters, I'm going to throw things way back to the Epic forums. You might remember, I think it's Jovis was his name. He had a thread about the origins of the Locust, which turned out to be fairly accurate, and I mean, this was a massive thread. It got copied over to the Black Tusk and then eventually the Coalition forums. Someone found it on the Wayback Machine recently and posted it on Reddit. It's a really great thread, and again, he was pretty accurate. But he also had this other thread that was discussing Wretches and Kantus. The theory, which I believe has been disproven, was that Wretches were simply juvenile Kantus. Kantai? A flock of Canton? I don't know. Anyways, a Wretch is just a juvenile Kantus. And I really liked this theory for two reasons. First off, look at them. I got a couple pictures here. So, look at them. They are so similar, especially the feet. There's also the screeches and some of their behavioral aspects. But beyond that, what I really liked was that the Kantus could have been this, more ancient race or species that had been underground for a really long time. There was a theory that the Nexus was originally a Kantus stronghold before they aligned with the Locust. I'd hoped to explain some of the seemingly ancient architecture there. Alas, this was disproven. And one of the comments on this Reddit thread I thought were kind of interesting, so I thought I'd highlight it. But again, I told you this is going to be some rambling. I've been going off about Wretches and Kantus, and this is supposed to be off the Age of the Locust. But, this commenter said that the Locust had decades to create the Nexus, and that they're a hive mind. Basically, they had nothing to do other than build. They're building both their army and building out their stronghold. And to top it off, the architecture, it seems old, but it may just seem old and not really be that old. It's all made out of stone, and that's not something that we are used to seeing. It's something that we associate with old architecture. So it might not actually be that old. It's just the fact that it's made out of stone makes it seem like it's really old. And I guess I agree with this to some extent. There's even some modern buildings made out of stone that just look old. But as I said in the thread, I find this answer to be more of okay, this is technically possible, so let's say that's canon type answer, as opposed to it being the truly reasonable answer. It's also really odd that the Locust would go through the effort of carving so much detail into the designs and into their architecture when they're, building up an army and stuff like that. I'll also just know it's kind of funny thinking about the Locust, who we know is these big, brutish monster people, thinking that some of them are these nice little delicate people chiseling out this elaborate construction. On that same note, it's Locust weapons, picturing someone doing tiny detail to get the Locust weapons just right. It's kind of funny to think about. But alright, back to the original Reddit question. how old are the Locust? Well, all signs point to them being created in the 40 to 50 BE, or before emergence range. New Hope was created around 50 BE, and the Locust weren't created right away. There were some experiments that eventually led to the creation of the Locust. So it's that 40 to 50 range probably. And to give an idea, right now it is 42 AE. So I guess the Locust is around 80 years old? I think it's a pretty reasonably accepted answer. Although I'll note that I'm still just not a huge fan of the explanation for the Nexus. And while that's a pretty straightforward answer, I think that this gives a pretty good idea of what I'm planning to do in this type of video. This was a thread that it opened up some interesting thoughts for me. A lot of it was not thoughts directly related to the thread, but sort of that thread triggered some additional thoughts. So what do you guys think of this? I guess I'll ask, what do you think of this video style? But also, what do you think about the thread or some of the concepts that I said here? Is there some gray area lore-wise that could help explain the Nexus? Or how long after New Hope was created do you think that the Locust were actually created? I don't think that's ever been set in stone. Or what do you think the first true Locust is? Because, there were different steps as they were trying to create them. When do you think Locust actually became a thing? There was another topic that I was thinking of. I'll make this a little bonus episode, I think. I'll post another video. But it's, how old is Marcus Phoenix really? I mean, we know when he was born in the Saren timeline, and we know where we are now. But Sarah's not Earth. If we were to try and compare him to a human, how old is Marcus Phoenix really? I'll do a bonus video about that. I did some math a while back. I'll pull that up and make sure it was all right, and I'll post that. So yeah, let me know what you think of these discussions. There's not really much Gears news going on right now. Hopefully that changes in the near future, but yeah, I figured I could still highlight some interesting threads and occasionally share some of my thoughts. This, as you have seen now, this is not a very highly produced video. I'm doing this all in one take and just sort of rambling here, but hey, at least it's some discussion. Better than nothing, right? If you want to see more of these, just let me know. You can hit me up in the comments or on Twitter, or this is about a Reddit thread. Hit me up on Reddit if you want. Also, subscribe and like the video if you think we earned it here. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll catch you next time. See ya.